First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakah Kadash, and double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who are teaching this truth and sincerity. And shout out to Yakim is out there on the four corners of the earth proclaiming this to do so. As we are a family, we are the elect one-third, hopeful elect. We're proclaiming this truth, and don't really give a fuck what others think of us, but we're only here to edify each other, the elect one-third. The whosoever amongst the nation of Israel shall receive Yahweh Shai. That's what this is all about, edifying each other, coming back together as a family, a real family, not like everything else that we've experienced in Babylon where, families turn on each other and there's strife and everything. Not that it doesn't happen among our camps and all that, but quite simply put, though, there are those that were built for this truth, and there were those that were not meant for this, or were meant to receive it and then go off. I mean, that happened during the time that Yahweh Shai was here, for sure. There were those that departed from him. John 6:66, chapter 6, verse 66 talks about that. I know that's weird that it's 666, but, that's another note. But here's what's happening, though, is that, the French, who has just now moved in troops into Syria, they're agreeing with the whore Babylon the Great on this one, but yet do not agree with Trump on this one. Macron, it does not look like Trump will stay in Iran nuclear deal, and he is not very happy about this. French President Emmanuel Macron believes U.S. President Donald Trump is leaning towards getting the United States out of the Iran nuclear deal. The United States is not ready to go back on his pre-election promise, Macron told media. Just like you do, I listen to what President Trump is saying, and it seems to me that he is not very much eager to defend the Iran nuclear deal. Have in mind that it is his campaign commitment that he had made a long time ago. So I do not know what the American decision will be, but if you take a rational look at the announcements and the comments made by President Trump, it seems to me that he will not do his utmost to preserve the JCPOA. Macron said during a press conference at the George Washington University at the end of his 3-day trip in Babylon, because that's what America is. So anyhow, pretty much they're not very happy about this, but here's another one that you probably are just now getting wind of, but I'll read both articles because first we'll just read this one here. Let's take a look at this. United States violating international law by breaking into consulate Seattle embassy. So they broke into a Russian consulate. Remember they did some predictive programming in the show 24 where the guy Jack Bauer had actually broken into a Russian embassy. Well, isn't that predictive programming to this? The United States government is violating international law with its decision to break in to Russia's locked consulate in Seattle. The Russian embassy in Washington said in a statement, "What we see now is a gross violation of the Convention of the Diplomatic Relations and the Convention of Consular Relations." So in other words, Russia and the United States are at war. Vladimir Putin just said a couple of days ago that world war is unavoidable. So the inevitable is happening. United States and Russia are at war, and it's not just political propaganda. This is for real. When you break into a consulate, that means you no longer have diplomatic relations. The head of the embassy's consulate department, the Russian site, did not agree on stripping diplomatic status from our property in Seattle and did not give permission to American officials to enter our territory. So again, there is a follow-up to this. So there's going to be more, United States authorities break into Russian consulate residence in Seattle, and there's some photos, so that's kind of what it looks like. U.S. authorities broke into the locked residence of the Russian Consul General in Seattle, Washington. The building was evacuated on U.S. orders as a part of the mass expulsion of Russian diplomats. So make no mistake, Russia and the United States are in World War III. By breaking into the consulate, the U.S. is violating international law, the embassy said. So, here comes these terrorists, because that's what the United States, Babylon the Great, is. The U.S. authorities are breaking the lock at the gate of the residence of the Russian Consulate General in Seattle that was closed in compliance with orders given by the United States government. So, again, here they are breaking in. All right, there's more. We'll look at this article here. Frenemies at the table. Kim and Moon, which we know Ban Ki-moon is South Korea. So North Korea and South Korea to foster goodwill at historic meeting, but Trump's shadow looms. Because of course, if North Korea and South Korea unite, that means that they'll get these bastards out of their country. Students hold posters with, I don't need definition of the picture. All right. After a decade-long pause, the two Koreans are holding a top-level summit this week. Seoul may score some domestic political points, but it's no real position to negotiate essential changes with Saigon. This Friday, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and South Korean President Moon Jae-in will meet face-to-face, making the first such summit in over a decade. The previous intra-Korean event of this level happened in 2007 when Kim's father, Kim Il-sung, met South Korea's then leader, Ron Moon-hyun. A year later, the South had a new conservative government, ending a decade of détente with the North and heralding a new era of confrontation. So, in other words, these two are getting together, and you know as well as I do that the United States is not going to give up on South Korea, because they like to split. Oh, look at this. French, the U.S., and allies to build Syria of tomorrow. So, they're over there. Of course they are. And I just told you that French troops were there, so we'll pull this up a little bit. Just give it a minute to load Shalom, So, France and U.S. and allies to build Syria of tomorrow. Paris is seeking to bridge the moribund Geneva talks with the Russian-led Astana process in order to build peace in Syria. Yeah, right. French President Emmanuel Macron said on his last day visit to Washington, the U.S., the U.K., France, Jordan, and Saudi Arabia has formed a contact group on Syria. Yeah, they're called terrorists named ISIS, which is coordinated with Turkey and Germany. Macron told reporters gathered at the George Washington University on Wednesday morning. The group is seeking to build a bridge between the UN-led Geneva talks that have gone so far nowhere and the Astana process led by Russia, Turkey, and Iran. So basically, they are just looking to bring in the terrorists, these so-called rebels, Yeah, and here's what this piece of shit also said. Russia is allied with the Syrian government and has maintained a military presence in the country since September 2015 at the invitation of Damascus, fighting both Islamic State and Al-Qaeda affiliated rebel groups. Yeah, all these funded by the United States, some of which are backed by Western and Gulf Arab governments. Countering the statements of U.S. President Donald Trump that he wanted to withdraw American troops from Syria once ISIS is defeated, Macron said that France, the UK, and the U.S. are committed to fight the war against terrorists till the end. After that, However, Macron said we have a political goal of building a free Syria, which is not under the influence of another country or destabilizing the region. But that's exactly what they'll do if they take out Bashar al-Assad. All right, I want to show you something else because remember how I said that, this is golden, that we could do this? Well, here's something that happened to one of my videos. I got a community guidelines. It's not a strike, but it's a want for appeal because I telegraphed, and actually, I can show you some of this video that was taken down. World War III update: a major event is coming worldwide. I could do the, it says due to YouTube's policies prohibiting misleading tags, the video has been locked as private. To learn more about what happened, remove any unrelated or misleading tags from the description and tag sections. So, am I misleading everybody? It took 9/11 to create the supposed war of terror, right? Okay, so and where did I get this information from? I cite my sources right there from AMTV. Shalom. So we're going to take a look at this so-called controversial video, which is a rebuilding of edifying video. So we're going to take a look at this so-called banned video from YouTube because, I'm misleading people. And here's an elder apostle right here, on what we were talking about. Nothing wrong with the video. We're just telling you the truth.
Those missiles were pretty much set up just to scare people into accepting this new world order. But the Most High is going to make them use it. So right now, Trump is calculating, an evil thought, because it's the Most High working on the minds of these kings to do that. It says, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages, which is America. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates. So the Lord is going to cause Putin and China and other nations and even their own allies of America that are helping them during this strike to come against America. Okay, because UK and France are part of those 10 horns, and they're going to come against America. All right. All right, so now let's jump here. Jeremiah 50:22. A sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? And this is the final devastation, the final destruction. But the first part of that destruction is them losing their power. Their military might and their strategies are outdated, And they're in a world that these nations, all they do is eat, drink, and think strategies and war and all of that, So your old tactics is not working anymore. And eventually you're going to be destroyed, But right now you're losing your grip, you're losing your power, and you're trying to hold on to it. Let's see what it says here. Hammer. It's Patayash, forge, hammer. Another way of saying hammer is Makwabath. Hammer of the whole earth, cut asunder. Let's see what that says. Cut asunder. Gadai, to cut, hew, chop, cut down, hew off, cut in two, shave off. So right now, America is getting a shave. A shave from power. All right? Become a desolation among them. And eventually they're going to be led as a snare. They're going to be pretty much destroyed. They're going to be desolate. It says, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord. And it's time for you to pay, because you have puffed yourself up. You have even made slogans for your military, said that nothing can stop the Air Force, implying that not even God can stop the Air Force, the Most High. The Lord has opened his armory and hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation, which is what? These missiles. For this is the work of the Lord, power of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. And America is the modern day land of the Chaldeans.
So they could try to call this misleading. I'll show you the Chris Green part in part 2 of this, all right?